Do you want to live in that dream lake house here in Livingston County? I know I want to. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Welcome back. I'm Chris with the Lotz Real Estate Group. Our mission is to help you know more about our community. Subscribe because it gets this valuable information out to everybody looking to know more about Livingston County and the greater community. We serve people like you every single day when it comes to buying and selling. If you're looking for more information, call us today. Let's dive into owning your dream house on a lake here in Livingston County. So we're going to jump into the top 5 list at the end of the video. Stay tuned for that. We're going to highlight, not limited to, but the top 5 lakes that a lot of people are looking for to live on here in Livingston County. And don't get me wrong, I grew up on the chain of lakes. Just a little history about us. I was born and raised on Gallagher Canal off of Gallagher. If you're not familiar with the Paint Chain of Lakes, we'll probably throw up a clip on that. But I grew up on the canal off of Gallagher. Then my parents moved to Tamarack Lake, which is a no-wake lake off of Baseline and Whitewood, technically, or within the canals on there. But it was great. It was a no-wake lake. Peace of mind. We were swimming across the lake, paddle boarding across the lake, paddle boating across the lake, turtle fishing, turtle hunting, fishing, swimming to friends' houses, and not a worry in the world. I'm sure there was worries in the world when it came to the water, but when it came to the peace of mind that someone was not going to run you over with a boat, massive value to that. And I loved growing up on the lake. There's a lot of things in this list when it comes to overlooking that that we're going to dive into to better prepare you for when you're looking to live in that dream house or looking for that dream lake house here in our community. First thing is property prices. It might be rhetorical or pretty obvious, but when it comes to buying homes on lakes, that dirt, that value is very, very expensive. You know, if you take a house in a neighborhood and you put it into the home, we might be talking about $200,000 to $400,000 price increase purely based on the desirability of living on a lake. So from an affordability standpoint, when you start to see the examples of what it costs to live on certain lakes, and then a standalone lake versus the chain of lakes, they're going to be two different prices. If you take that standalone lake home and you move it to the chain of lakes, we could see a difference of $100,000 to $200,000 increase in that price. Again, it's buyer desirability of the lakes and the lake amenities that you're looking to be a part of, because a standalone lake doesn't necessarily have the same amenities that a chain of lakes will. You know, you can go around in circles a few times, tube ski, great access, great accessibility. You don't have the bars, you don't have the restaurants, you don't have the activities, you don't have the fireworks, you don't have the sandbars, so on and so forth when it comes to really everything of what somebody's looking for when it comes to living in lakes, but that comes with a price. Property taxes. With high property values come high property taxes, especially in this day and age. We're seeing massive new assessed values with the massive appreciation year to year. And, you know, unfortunately, it is what it is, especially if people are buying these things as secondary homes. You know, in the great state of Michigan, we have homestead tax exemptions. It's relative. You know, if you have a large house in Ann Arbor, a large house in Oakland County, and you're just looking for a great home in a rural setting to be on a lake or a chain of lakes, you might want to keep your homestead exemption on that larger property that's going to see more of that increase in taxes. So it is relative, but you're still not going to like the difference in taxes. But again, it's all what or where the tax savings are going to be for your family, depending on the homes that you choose to live on. But with that being said, taxes outside of property values, taxes is definitely something that people overlook when it comes to buying homes. It shouldn't necessarily be the reason that you do or do not buy a house, because at the end of the day, you know, if your taxes go from, 5 to 8 or 5 to 10, I get it. It's doubled. But what's that intangible value of family experiences and memories, especially when you don't have to drive 4, 5, 6 hours to get up north? That's why people love Pinckney. Don't forget your HOAs. Not every single house is going to have a mandatory HOA. Some are voluntary. And whether it be $30 to $100 for weed control, and I mean seaweed control, not another weed control, or it might be assessments to pave roads. Most of the time for Pinckney, chain of lakes and other surrounding lakes, a lot of these homes have been updated to sewer systems, so that cost has been taken care of. It will be in your taxes, or an influx in those taxes, to make sure that those lakes are clean and well maintained. But when it comes to HOAs, again, I think you're predominantly going to see road maintenance, whether it be dirt or paved, or if it needs to be paved, you might see special assessments divided on those houses, and we might be talking $1,000 to $2,000, not much, to have better roads and better quality roads. And then seaweed control. I've seen everything from $35 to $100. And I think it just comes down to the amount of people in those communities. You might have 5 people on a community. You might have 50 homes on a community, and you can definitely leverage the quantity to lower your cost, or divide that cost up amongst those more people than the fewer people. And whether it's voluntary or involuntary, you definitely have to take that HOA into consideration. That is a massive impact of cost. You know, it could be an extra $200 to $500 a year, or it could be $100 a month. So $1,200 a year annually definitely, changes the metric standpoint. And I'll give you an example. There's some communities on the chain of lakes, whether it be Indianola off of Strawberry Lake Road, or I'm blanking on Arthur's Court off of Sarah Drive, which is the north side of Portage Lake. They're a great neighborhood, a great community, modern houses with the deeded beach access. So that beach and those deeded docks need to be maintained. How do you maintain them? HOA cost. Last but not least is definitely maintenance. Just like owning a house, owning a home is not maintenance free. You're definitely, and if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, deferred maintenance is not hard. Deferred maintenance is hard when you don't do it. And especially when it comes to lake options, whether it's seawalls, docks, or boat upkeep, annual maintenance and repair year to year, whether it's seawall repair when the water levels drop and winter is around, that could save you tens of thousands of dollars in repair or replacement costs down the road. Whether it's welding those steel seawalls, repairing the wood seawalls, reinforcing the rock break walls, so on and so forth, that little maintenance that it does not turn into deferred maintenance could save you a lot of money year to year. Every single year, you should definitely be, when it comes to docks, doing the exact same thing. And a lot of people remove them to mitigate potential damage to the winter, the shifting of ices. So for the $300 that it might cost to remove and install those docks, it could save you, again, tens of thousands of dollars in damage to docks or boat lifts. And then on top of that, boat upkeep in general, whether it be oil changes, putting stabilizer into your fuel. And then a lot of people do shrink wrapping. If you're not familiar, just Google boat shrink wrapping. They're big blue tarps that are then cinched down with vacuums or heat sealing, and it protects your boat for the winter months if you're storing it in an outdoor setting. But again, a simple, cost-effective thing that can mitigate thousands of dollars in cost or damage over the winter months. I'll give you an example. One year we came back to our boat over the winter, and there was a family of raccoons in there. It's because we didn't shrink wrap. The tarp or the cover collapsed in. It was not shrink wrapped, and a family of raccoons moved into that boat. Avoid that mistake. Just invest into that simple cost of shrink wrapping your boat through the winter months. So take those 4 things into consideration when you're looking for your dream houses. Obviously, purchase price, potential taxes, HOA cost, and consistent maintenance. The lifestyle differences of direct lake access, privacy, more property, location, lakes, whether it be active lakes or less active lakes, your walkability, proximity to amenities, sense of community, take those into consideration as well. And that's a big impact of price. If you have any questions when it comes to looking at lake houses in this community, we are the people for it. I was born on the Chain of Lakes. Pat has lived on the Chain of Lakes for 40 plus years. No one knows it better than us. So this could be a little bit of a controversial top 5, but it's a top 5 nonetheless when it comes to living in this community. In no apparent order, these are lakes all throughout Livingston County. Actually, these are top 5 lakes for Brighton, Michigan, and I don't mind this list. So number 1 is Woodland Lake. It is north of Hilton Road. Phenomenal proximity to be centrally located here in Brighton, Michigan, or Lake Hamburg Township, on that cusp of Brighton and Hamburg, or Brighton and Pinckney when it comes to school districts. But it's a standalone lake. It's big, sandy beaches, family-friendly amenities, and then great proximity to Brighton State Rec area and the highways for commuting. 3 Crooked Lakes, whether it be east or west, very desirable. High property prices, high taxes, there's sewer over there, but people fight over the Crooked Lakes, and there's a reason for that. Very, very desirable and great locations, Genoa Township. And there's a little lake, bonus lake, a little lake in between the east and west Crooked Lakes, Round Lake. It is still all sports, a little small, but it is something that's overlooked at times and still provides some great amenities to Lake living. School Lake, spring fed, crystal clear. It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest, but it is super, super clean. Like I said, spring fed, crystal clear, smaller, but it's a phenomenal local lake, like a good proximity lake off of Old US 23. Very desirable. Nonetheless, there's a house for sale right now on School Lake, 1.3 plus or minus. But this is a home that, like, it's not a secondary home. This is a primary residence, but I also don't think you're sacrificing on school districts, locations, so on and so forth. Last but not least is Brighton Lake. A good portion of it is a downtown community, and then another portion of it is Pine Creek, which used to be a old Boy Scout camp. I don't know the name of it. I should know the name of it, but Pine Creek, a very well-known community here in Livingston County. It is smaller, but very charming atmosphere, popular for swimming, kayaking, and paddleboarding, and obviously proximity to downtown Brighton. Thanks for tuning into this video about lake living, the cost, our top 5 list here for Brighton, Michigan. There's definitely a lot of pros and cons to lakefront living or lake view living when it comes to lifestyle and cost considerations. Take it all into factor when you're making these decisions. Again, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. This gets this valuable information out to everybody looking to know more about Livingston County and the greater community. This video specifically when it comes to lake living. We have a lot of lakes and a lot of amenities here in this community. We serve people like you buying and selling every single day, whether it be neighborhood communities here in Livingston County or specifically lakefront homes. Don't quote me, but I think over the past year, we were top 2, top 3 agents on buy and sell side when it came to lake properties here in Livingston County, and we're always in that top 3, the top 2 here. I think we're actually top 1, but I'm room for error. Top 3 agents in Livingston County when it came to lake properties, buying and selling. If you're looking for more information about lake living here in Livingston County, call us today. We are happy and excited about the opportunity of serving you, and we will see you in the next one.